Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on and first impressions video of the Samsung Galaxy A71. So let's get started. So this is the Samsung Galaxy A71. I know many of you have been looking forward to me covering this device here on the channel. About a month ago, I made a variety of different videos about the A51, which is a great device, but this one is a step up from that. And while it is a bit more expensive, it also packs in better specifications. Now, before I show you everything that is included in the box, I do want to let you know that I don't know the official pricing for the phone at the moment. Currently on Amazon, the phone is available for around $450. But then on eBay, you can get the phone for around $399. So throughout the coverage of this phone, I am going to refer to the price as being $399, but who knows, it might settle even lower than that. So definitely take a look at the links in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for the Samsung Galaxy A71. But here is the box that the phone comes in. So A71 right there up front, and then Samsung branding up top. Besides that though, there's really nothing else on the box. So let's lift the lid. And I did already set up the phone just for the sake of saving time, but I'll show you everything that's included here in the box. We'll put this off to the side for a second though. So there is a little box within the main box, and you get a SIM card removal tool. Then also included are a bunch of booklets here. So there's a quick start guide, there is another quick start guide in Spanish, and then a warranty card as well. And then we also have a clear plastic case included. Now thankfully, there are a variety of different accessories available on Amazon, so there's no shortage of cases and screen protectors that you can buy to pair up with your A71. It's still nice though that we do get this basic case included. Now the A71 is compatible with 25-watt fast charging, which is really impressive. And we do get a super fast charger included here in the box. And this charger actually has USB-C on it too. So a really nice premium charger included with the A71. In addition to that, we're getting a double-sided USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. If you don't have a computer with USB-C and you do want to transfer files from the A71 to your computer, then you are going to have to use a separate cable, of course, with USB-A on the other end. And then finally, we get a pair of headphones in the box, and these are 3.5mm headphones. So now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, here is the Samsung Galaxy A71 itself. And I've got to say, it is a really good looking phone. It is very similar though in the way that it looks to the A51. So this form factor is not very new to me. It of course does have a larger display overall compared to the A51. And in a separate video, I will be doing a full comparison between those two phones. So definitely check that out as well. But this variant of the A71 is the International Factory Unlocked GSM variant. So in the US, this is going to work with AT&T, T-Mobile, Metro by T-Mobile, Cricket, Mint Mobile. And I've heard some people say that they have managed to use their International Unlocked Galaxy A series phones with Verizon. So I'll have to try that out later. But I know for sure that this will work with GSM carriers without an issue. Now with the phone, we're getting this massive and great looking 6.7-inch Infinity O display with Corning Gorilla Glass 3. And the actual display itself is Super AMOLED, so really awesome colors with this. You do have the ability also to adjust the vibrancy of the display, but I'll go over that in more detail in my tips and tricks video. The display itself is 1080p. We're getting a PPI of 393. And it features a 20:9 aspect ratio. So a bit more of a narrower, taller aspect ratio with the phone. And by the way, if you're curious what this is off to the right of the phone, that is the App Edge. So that's a convenient way to get quick access to your favorite applications anywhere in the phone. But at the top of the device, we do have a hole punch for the front-facing camera. And that front-facing camera is 32 megapixels. So the actual hole punch itself is very small, which is nice because it doesn't really get in the way of anything. So Samsung is really designing all of their devices to look pretty similar, but I don't mind that because the visual appearance of this phone is really awesome. Now internally, we're getting 128 gigabytes of storage with SD card expansion. In addition to that, the phone features an in-display fingerprint sensor and it works really well. It's nice and quick and accurate, So I definitely like that. And if you want to, you can also set up Face Unlock with the device. Now this phone features some really incredible cameras. In fact, if you want to see a sneak peek at some photos that I took with the phone earlier today, you can go over to kevinbreeze.com/A71, and I have like 30 different pictures that you can check out there, and they're in full quality too, so that you'll know exactly the type of photo quality to expect from the phone. But it does take some really amazing pictures, and video looks really good as well. Now the main camera on this device is 64 megapixels, which is pretty incredible. We're also getting a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera, and a 5 megapixel macro camera. So this is a quad camera setup. Now you are getting portrait mode with the front and rear cameras, which is nice, and you're getting 4K video recording with the front and rear cameras as well. So that's pretty amazing. Now the device features 6 gigabytes of RAM, and it features the Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 processor. So this is actually the first phone that I've ever used with a 700 series processor from Qualcomm, but I did run an Antutu benchmark test, and the results are pretty incredible. So I'll let this load up here, but I got a total score of 264,714. So that's a really good score, so I'm really happy with that. And so far, I've used this phone for a few hours, and it performs pretty much on par with many flagships that I've used. Now keep in mind that some of the latest flagships, including the Google Pixel 4, the Samsung Galaxy S10, Note 10, all of those devices typically have Antutu scores around 400,000. And that's because those devices do feature a better processor compared to the A71. But this score in itself is very good as well, and you should definitely expect good performance with the phone. But of course, if you do want to take the performance of your device up to the next level, then you might want to consider going with the flagship instead. Of course, you're going to be spending a lot more money though, so it really just depends on what's the best fit for you. Now, this phone features a massive battery at 4,550 milliamp hours. And again, even though it is a large battery, you are getting 25 watt fast charging. So this phone will recharge very quickly. Now the software on here is Android 10, featuring Samsung's One UI 2.0. And if you're curious when it got its latest security patch, I'll show that to you right now. So you can see right here, One UI 2.0, Android 10, and then it features the January 1st, 2020 security patch. Now I'm not sure if Samsung is going to be updating the phone every single time a new security patch comes out. I certainly hope that's the case. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen. So those are the specifications of the Samsung Galaxy A71. This phone is packed full of software features as well, since it is featuring Samsung's One UI 2.0. Now I like phones that are stock Android, and I also like phones that feature skins like this, just because I do appreciate the extra features that Samsung gives us. But at the same time, with stock Android, I do like the simplicity. But I will be putting out a tips and tricks video very soon about this phone, going over some of the core features that might be overlooked if you're not too aware of them. So definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that content. Now that we've gone over the specifications of the Samsung Galaxy A71, let's take a closer look at the hardware. Now I already talked a lot about the front panel here, but this phone features a really great looking display. I mean, you can probably see it with your own eyes right here, but it's a great looking display. But in addition to that, you're getting a really good screen to body ratio. So it's pretty much all display on here. There's a little bit of a bottom bezel, but for the most part, each bezel is the same width, which is definitely the way I like it. Unlike other devices like the iPhone 11, which features this really large notch at the top of the phone, kind of embarrassing to be honest, there is no ugly notch at the top of the A71. Of course, in the perfect world, I would like to see some way to implement the front-facing camera under the display. I know that some OEMs are kind of experimenting with that, and hopefully that's something we'll see within the next couple of years. But I don't mind this hole punch for the front-facing camera since it is so tiny. Now taking a look at the left side of the phone, we just have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM cards, so the phone is dual SIM. On the left side of the phone, all we have is the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card, and then on the right of the phone, we have the power button and we have the volume buttons. And by the way, if you're curious why manufacturers like Samsung put the power button and volume buttons on the right side of the phone, there's a good reason for that. It's because in many parts of the world, not so much in the US, but in other parts of the world, flip open wallet cases are really popular So if the phone's in the wallet case and it flips open like this, it wouldn't really be practical to have any buttons on the left side of the phone. So that's why Samsung put all the buttons on the right side. I know that some people prefer to have the volume button on the left side of the phone, but that's why they chose to put it on the right side. Now taking a look at the top of the phone, we just have the noise canceling microphone. And then on the bottom, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. We have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer. We have the microphone, and then we have the speaker. And then finally on the back side of the device, it's a very minimalist look here. We have nothing on the back besides the camera module and Samsung logo. Now keep in mind that the camera module does stick out a decent amount from the phone itself. And it makes sense since it is packing in so many cameras here. And with the main camera being 64 megapixels, I'm sure they couldn't fit everything into a super slim profile. But I just wanted to point that out there. Now when the phone is on a flat surface, it does kind of rock around a little bit, but not quite as bad as you'd think it would, considering that the camera module does stick out. But again, this in-screen fingerprint sensor is nice and quick, works really smoothly, is very reliable, and was very easy to set up. Now here's how Instagram looks on the device. Now this 20:9 form factor is perfect for browsing social media especially, because you can fit more of your feed into the screen here. Compared to devices that are a little bit wider and not quite as tall, the image is going to take up a larger portion of the display, which in some ways that's a good thing, but in other ways it's nice having this form factor because in one view here, you can see the picture, you can see your stories, and you can see the caption. So scrolling is super smooth thanks to that amazing Qualcomm Snapdragon 730. You can easily swipe over as well and go right over to the camera. I am taking a video right now with the Samsung Galaxy A71. Samsung Galaxy A71. Taking a video right now with the Samsung Galaxy A7. So one of the good things about this phone too is that the microphone is very good. So you're gonna get great audio quality with it. In fact, if you wanted to use this phone as a vlogging phone, for example, I think that would work out really well for you. And you wouldn't even have to use an external microphone. Now, if you want to, you can, but you don't necessarily have to get great sounding audio. Now, going through stories is nice and smooth as well. Of course, make sure to follow everybody that I show you in these stories, but that's great too. So overall, I would give the Instagram experience with the Samsung Galaxy A71 a 10 out of 10. And while you're at it, make sure to follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. I post a lot of behind the scenes content. You can also see what I'm up to. And then you can also see kind of sneak peeks to some of the videos that I'm in the process of creating. But I hope you've enjoyed this hands-on and first impressions video of the Samsung Galaxy A71. I realize that despite this being kind of a mid-range device, it still is a bit more expensive than some of the phones that I typically cover here on the channel. Generally, I try to stick to devices under $300, and I know this phone is being offered at around $399. But if you do feel like spending a little bit of extra money to get something great that will last for a long time, then you might want to consider the Samsung Galaxy A71. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay on the lookout for other videos that I'll be creating about this phone. Subscribe to the channel as well, and I will see you in the next video.